In 2007, Nokia shipped 463 million phones. They reported record revenues, record profits, and a corporate valuation of $250 billion. This chart breaks down those sales and reveals a vulnerability. The board saw market control, but the majority of these profits came from basic phones sold in developing markets for $30. In the sector of premium smartphones, Nokia was losing ground. A new mobile landscape was forming. Tens of thousands of developers were writing software for the iOS and Android ecosystems. Symbian, Nokia's software platform, attracted almost no one. This was the physical threat. The iPhone had been on sale for 6 months, offering a simplified, app-focused interface that bypassed Nokia's difficult software layers. Researchers from INSEAD Business School spent years interviewing dozens of Nokia executives to understand the lack of response to these threats. Their findings did not point to engineering incompetence. They found an environment that employees described as a culture of terror. The organizational structure had evolved to punish dissent. Middle managers knew the software platform was failing, but reporting this to senior executives was viewed as career suicide. To avoid internal conflict, the warning signs were buried. Middle managers viewed the Symbian operating system as an archaeological excavation. It was a labyrinth of legacy code that was increasingly difficult to update, yet executives refused to abandon it. In 2007, Nokia launched the N95. It featured impressive hardware, including a 5-megapixel camera and GPS, but it ran on Symbian. The software was effectively obsolete, but shipping it allowed executives to avoid admitting that billions in previous investments were wasted. A year later, Nokia released the 5800, their first touchscreen phone. It arrived 18 months late and relied on a plastic guitar pick for navigation. That delay gave consumers enough time to build their digital lives around Apple's ecosystem. The N97 was marketed as the iPhone killer in 2009. It launched with hardware bugs and a user experience so frustrating that one senior executive privately called the product a fiasco. By prioritizing the protection of past decisions over market reality, Nokia spent 3 years releasing products that alienated their premium user base. To catch up, Nokia funded 4 different replacement operating systems simultaneously: Symbian, Maemo, MeeGo, and Meltemi. This created intense political conflict. Instead of cooperating, thousands of engineers fought for internal resources. By spreading investment across 4 separate futures, Nokia ensured that none of them would be ready when the market demanded a successor. In 2010, the board hired Stephen Elop, a former Microsoft executive, as the first non-Finnish CEO. He was tasked with breaking the bureaucratic deadlock. 4 months after his arrival, Elop sent an internal memo titled "Burning Platform." It was an honest assessment that listed every failure and warned that Nokia was losing its developers and its consumers. The memo leaked to the press within hours, causing Nokia's stock to drop 7%. It signaled to the world that the company was in a state of crisis. 3 days later, Elop announced his solution. Nokia would abandon its internal platforms and partner with Microsoft to run the Windows Phone operating system. At the time of this announcement, Nokia engineers had a working prototype of a phone running Android. It was ready for production, but the project was killed in favor of the Microsoft deal. This pivot was not the result of a long board deliberation. The final choice was made the night before the announcement, over dinner, between Elop and a few selected executives. The resulting Lumia series failed to gain traction. Developers did not write apps for the platform, and consumers remained with iOS and Android. In 2013, Microsoft purchased Nokia's phone division for €5.4 billion. This represented a 98% loss in value from the company's peak. Elop returned to Microsoft as part of the deal, receiving a $25 million severance payment. His short tenure left observers questioning the true intent of the Microsoft partnership. Flashback to 2004. An engineer named Anssi Vanjoki presented a touchscreen prototype to the board, years before the iPhone. He was told his vision for the future was wrong. Nokia's technical lag was a byproduct of its internal culture. The company held the future in its hands in 2004, but the fear of disrupting the status quo ensured that technology never reached the market. The empire fell because those who saw the change were silenced by those who feared it.